Code switching in an English classroom video presentation. Hi everybody, teacher and classmates. I'm Nicholas and today I will present how code switching occurs in an English class. Agenda Number 1. Introduction. Definition and classroom relevance of code switching. Code switching is when bilingual speakers alternate between two languages in the same conversation. It's a widely observed phenomenon in multilingual classrooms. Researchers stress that understanding code switching functions can help teachers use it effectively or know when to minimize it during lessons. Teacher functions of code switching. According to CERT 2005, teachers often code switch to change topics, show friendliness, or repeat key points. In practice, our video shows the teacher introducing vocabulary in English and then giving the Spanish equivalent, topic switch, and repetition. He also switches to Spanish to praise students or use terms of endearment, which is the affective function. These strategies match the literature. They help students feel comfortable and understand content. Student functions of code switching. Munoz and Mora, 2006, described that learners code switch for equivalence using an L1 word for an L2 term, floor holding, and reiteration. In the video, we see students exemplify this. One student answers a question in English, then immediately says the same idea in Spanish, reiteration. Another student, unsure of an English word, uses the Spanish word equivalence. We also hear students use Spanish filler words, for example, ya, to pause and think, floor holding. These behaviors align with the research defined functions. Shared functions, interjections, and qualifiers. Interjections. Both teacher and students may switch to Spanish for interjections or emotional expressions. For example, saying uy or okay in L1 to express surprise or to fill a pause. Also qualify the message. A speaker introduces an idea in one language and then further explains or comments on it in the other. For instance, starting a sentence in English and finish it in Spanish to elaborate a point. Okay, in addition to distinct teacher students roles, both parties use code switching as a discourse makers. For example, Munoz and Mora know interjections like exclamation or emotional fillers and qualifying switches, continuing an idea across languages. In the class, the teacher might say aha in Spanish to show approval, and students might interject with muy bien or okay or está bien in Spanish when they agree. Similarly, students might begin explaining in English and then switch to Spanish to elaborate, qualifying the message. This mixed language interjection and expressions were visible in this video. Classroom video analysis. Let's start with the teacher. In the recording, the teacher often alternates languages. For example, he explains an English sentence and then immediately paraphrases it in Spanish. Repetitive function. He also uses a Spanish phrase to encourage students. Excelente, vamos, dime. Showing the affective function, we observe a clear topic switch when he transitions a lesson by first stating the topic in English and then elaborating in Spanish. Students. The students likewise employ the expected functions. One student answers a question in English and then repeat it in Spanish, reiteration. Another student, unsure of English terms, uses the Spanish equivalents to keep the conversation going. We hear students using Spanish fillers, o sea, while thinking, which is floor holding. And finally, interjection qualifiers. Both teacher and students use L1 interjections. For instance, when the teacher approves a correct answer, he says que chévere in Spanish to express emotion. Likewise, a student says muy bien in Spanish. We also see qualifying. The teacher introduces a grammar rule in English and then switches to Spanish mid sentence to clarify nuances, fitting the qualify the message function. The classroom segment clearly illustrates the literature's categories. The teacher switches match Serst and Munoz descriptions. He uses Spanish to shift topic and clarify meaning, and to build rapport affective. The student switches also align. They use Spanish for unknown vocabulary, equivalence, and to restate information, reiteration. Both sides use Spanish interjection and cross-language elaboration. In summary, the video shows code switching occurring in exactly the functional ways predicted by studies. Okay, and the conclusion. In this analysis, we have seen that code switching in the English class follows established patterns. Teacher-initiated switches serve to manage topics, repeat content, and engage students. Topic switched, repetitive and effective functions. Student-initiated switches appears as vocabulary substitution through, for example, through management and confirmation, equivalence, floor holding, and reiteration. Both participants also use interjection and bilingual qualifications of their messages. Recognizing this function is important. Cert 2005 Arches understanding why bilingual speakers switch help teacher use it productively rather than banning it. Our findings suggest that code switching is this class was a natural, functional tool supporting learning and communication. And that's all. Thank you.